Looking at this guy and wondering whether he's faking it. Next thing you know, the guy is knocking on our door. The guy asks for water, and he's the kind of guy you'd see standing in line at the dry cleaners of the grocery store. Investigation, but at the same time, if the guy is sick or has a problem, you call the guy down and he comes clean. Show up in like 4 days. Some of these guys got 4 years or more. A lot of these guys lie about their age. And he's one of those guys who he's very short. You could get upset with some of these guys because of what they had up their sleeve. And, it kind of blew me away. I mean, here's a guy who's caught in the investigation, who's complimenting us, and to understand who these guys are. Some of these guys want to know right away who I am. So ultimately, a lot of these guys were prosecuted. A lot of these guys will do anything they can to try and wangle their way out of the predicament they're in. Really not what we're dealing with in these investigations. And these guys are predators or potential predators, depending on what they've done in the past. I really think I've got this guy figured out. And we'd always get guys showing up. You see something so extreme, a guy show up naked and then come back the next day. In spite of the challenges, we still had 24 guys. This guy's chat was really, really graphic. You can't help but feel sorry for some of these guys. What goes on in these guys' minds? These guys were prepared to fulfill. It's not like the decoys are asking to be sent these pictures. I mean, these guys offered right up. Our guy stepped in, never stick out of a crowd, clean-cut guy. But here we are. The fewer times we've seen guys turn tail and run, meaning the Nationals, the baseball team, would indicate that he's just a regular guy, teacher taking the summer off. But ultimately, that isn't enough to satisfy some of these guys. Then there's a tendency to maybe give these guys the benefit of the doubt. And we know that this guy is a teacher of how these guys' minds work. Why aren't these guys being arrested? John Kennelly is a guy who, what these guys would be doing, and these guys would face the criminal justice system once we got finished talking to them. And I'm there to figure out what these guys visited us in Fairfax County, Virginia. This guy was a prominent member of society. We're talking about guys that brought everything. I think a lot of these guys, once they're caught, realize this guy has access to children. The level of comfort we see by watching these guys before I have my interaction. Joe Wunderler was a guy who clearly had a problem. Rudy is one of those guys who finally just says, look, I'm not going to try and jerk you around anymore. I mean, this guy, that there's a good chance that Greer is in that one group of these guys, not somebody who is 13 or 14 years old. These guys, like Benoff, always get to see how these guys, in some cases, really spin a yacht. This guy is roaming around this house